everybody, my name is Luke Marr and this is Hot Mode, and today on Hot Mode we are finishing out our Cannes Fashion Roaster and Review, so this is part 3. If you haven't watched part 1 or part 2, what are you doing? You're not getting your full can of beans here, you know what I mean? You need it all. It's good for your eyesight or bones or something. With this, we're going to go through a bunch more of the exciting looks, so let's get started. First up, Alex Consani is wearing Schiaparelli Haute Couture, which we love. It's this beautiful wasp-waisted black jacket that does have a very low-cut neckline, which is covered obviously in these beautiful embellishments. There is a sort of peplum as it flows from the waist. And then you have this silky pleated trouser, really lovely, really gorgeous on her. This is also when I say it must be nice to be a model, you know what I mean? Like the haute couture fits. Me, I'd have to remake. But I think she looks lovely. I think her hair up like that allows the actual neck area to sort of really deliver and emphasize that really low-cut neckline. She looks beautiful. Next up, we have Alexander Skaragaard, who is wearing Saint Laurent. Now listen, I love the attempt. I feel like we all know that I give an A for effort, and he has an A for effort because this he was doing weird stuff. But he's wearing a pair of thigh-high almost waiter boots, but they're not waiter boots, with this double-breasted black smoking suit. The thing is, it's based on the most recent men's runway show, or maybe 2 seasons ago from Saint Laurent. They were making these thicker, wider, thigh-high boots for men in beautiful leathers. But the issue to me is when you saw them on the runway, they actually kind of like looked a little looser and wider. They didn't feel semi-fitted, which I think is the issue here for Alexander, is like they feel like they're either a little too big or a little too snug. You know, he's in his Goldilocks era. It's like they're too big, they're too small, but they're just not right. You know, it doesn't work, and so I think that's my issue. I love the attempt. I just wish maybe we had made a custom size, or if these are custom, they should have just not wrinkled and crinkled the way that they do, because it pulls you out of the fantasy of this thick, wide, beautiful, stiff thigh-high. Next up, we have Barbara Palvin, who is wearing Vivienne Westwood, and I don't love it. I don't mind the silhouette. I think it's really beautiful. I think the white obviously gives you a little bit of a bridal fantasy, and I think Westwood really has a very strong bridal brand. It's important. It's a great line. And I think that this is a moire white, like an ivory silk. I think where I'm thrown off is the double slits. They just feel a little odd, and maybe it's also because the tulle peeks out from the double slits, which I think is probably helping to hide the pelvic regions. But it's just a little weird. Feels a little off, a little kooky, like the bride lost it last minute and said, let me take a scissor to the dress. And you know what you say? Sweetie, no. No scissors, not allowed. Leave that to the professionals. You button the dress up at the end of the ceremony. You don't hack and slash at it, unless you're really talented. Madame Vivienne, go for it. Alexander McQueen, sure. But this, no. What could have been like a really lovely style feels odd. Next up, we have Cate Blanchett. She's wearing Louis Vuitton. This is custom. I love it. Does it look like she is dragging a train of bathroom shower loofahs behind her? Yeah, but like, have they ever looked better? No, don't lie. You know that it's true. I think that this form-fitting slip gown in black is luscious. Then you sort of have this scarf style that then drapes in the back to this big poof of froof and frou. It's just a lot of lacy black flounces, and yet it adds such a silhouette to an otherwise really form-fitted gown silhouette. It's almost like she's a fashion superhero. I'm waiting for her to fight crime and save people in this dress. Next up, we have Charli XCX, who is wearing Saint Laurent. I love this on her. I think it's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. I think that this really pale lavender is actually quite stunning. I like that we're keeping this very signature Saint Laurent silhouette and also style of dress where you have these sort of sheer panels that do sort of express a little bit of that 70s bohemian Saint Laurent, you know, Rive gauchiness. Yet, when you add this big feather boa, I'm into it. I'm sold. I feel like it's not particularly brat in terms of color, but it's particularly brat in terms of glamour. So I was into it. Next up, we have the Sweet Prince, Colman Domingo. He said, you know what, I need a little bit of time after the Met Gala, but I'm back. This robe sash blazer with a matching pant that all has some sort of crystal drop, like jewelry-like embellishment all over it is wonderful. The Valentino bow ballerina flat is also like taking me out, and I feel like I've been seeing a lot of them on men, and I'm like, I still don't like them, but I respect what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? Alessandro Michele's like figuring out the product that will work to like bang. Remember when he like first started at Gucci and it was like product? He's doing that, and I feel like there is a gay somewhere that will really appreciate this little ballet moment. I do think that the hat though, beautiful. The way that it's slightly cocked to the side, the fact that it's not like trying to fight for attention, it just subtly adds a little bit of glamour. And I think that's what Colman Domingo is all about. Next up, we have Elle Fanning, who is wearing Chanel. It's custom, and she's wearing gorgeous jewelry by Cartier. It's a really simple diamond necklace, but this Chanel is fabulous. This pale blue. It's a gathered frill, a gathered tier that sits right across the top of the neckline. Bow in the middle, which don't love, but I'm going to explain it, I think, in a little bit. The peplum tier that's really quite high, and then full gown skirt. Like, I'm into it. I'm sold. So my issue is, we talked about it a little bit with the Zoe Dutch thing. Chanel, for the longest time, could not get it together, whether it was Virginie or whether it was Carl, into these like late 20s, early 30s silhouettes that felt really dated and really like costume time period-y when you saw them on the runway. They looked like your grandmother's thrown away, I don't even know. I want to say rags, but that's an offense to the word rag. They just looked odd and sloppy, and we completely saw why they were doing what they were doing, because if you look at historical pieces by Chanel, like Bing Bang Boom, you see the reference, but Mathieu Blazy has yet to present a collection at Chanel, but we know that he's there. Like, we know, we've seen the pictures, the man is in the atelier, and so he is working, and so I wonder if he is starting to slowly but surely bring around a couple pieces, a couple of ideas, a couple items, because this is good, and I'm very into this idea that these tiered and peplumed styles might actually be made modern, because it felt like they never could find a customer where it made sense. You know, the tweed skirt suit, always, always, always beloved, into it, but that's 50 Chanel. But it felt like we were always kind of losing like the 20s and the 30s Chanel, and this to me is where we're finding it. So keep your eyes peeled. Next up, we have Elle Fanning, who is wearing Valentino Haute Couture as well as Cartier. We can see that beautiful diamond drop necklace, absolutely lovely with that plunging neckline. But I feel like this diamond, I want to say trellisy sort of motif that runs throughout, which I think it's all sequins, or almost all sequins, that are dotting around this sheer panels. So like where the lines are coming in and where they intersect is actually sheer, and then the sequins have been sewn on to literally the side of them, so it helps to sort of emphasize that, but we can still see through those sheer lines as they move. I think it's really lovely, and I like the fact that the pattern continues even when the dress goes from semi-opaque up top to fully sheer on the bottom. I think it almost feels like the magic is slowly fading away. I like that element. I think maybe in a different color it would have popped a little bit more, but I think the dress itself, the creation of the dress, the design of the dress, the pattern of the dress is really quite luscious to look at. Next up, we have another cool one. Elsa Hosk is wearing Mugler. This is a custom look as well as jewelry by Messika. The thing that I love about this dress is not only does she look fabulous, I mean, she's wearing this form-fitting, semi-sheer striped gown with a black velvet and satin-lined sort of cape. It's actually a recreation of a look from, I believe, the fall-winter 1995-1996 Mugler collection, which I believe is what? It's called like Cirque d'Hiver, something like that. It's technically a reference to the Winter Circus, which I think is like a famous circus. It opened in 1852, the more you know. But that collection is also quite famous. That's where the robot suit is from. Like, it's a good show. But the other thing that I think is so wonderful is the stripes, as much as they're sheer, is also a reference to the Gautier Mariner stripe, or, you know, sort of sailor stripes that we all know. Usually it's in white and blue, and that's one of the signature motifs of the brand. But it's done here, and it's turned into this really quite sexy, seductive, evening, grown-up look, whereas normally you think about it and it's like a little childish, a little kitschy, a little campy, maybe even like a little bit of YMCA, LGBTQIA+ referencing. But here, she's not just in the Navy. She is serving the navy down. I also think that the layered pearl necklace was just the piece de resistance. Next up, we have Emma Mackey, who is wearing Louis Vuitton. I think this is cute, and I know it's not really like the craziest of outfits. It's not some big gown, but to me, it's a lovely black sheath, fits her well, but I think that this bow detail that's actually rising off of the top of this black sheath dress is cool. It's like the interesting parts about the LV custom looks that I find really, really fascinating. It almost looks like a bow that would sit normally maybe right at the bust area. It'd be like a cute little detail, lovely, lovely. But no, Nicolas Jesquier's is actually so much more deep and interesting. It almost looks like it was, I don't know, made on like some 3D scale polygon thing. But the fact that you can see the fact that it's also rised, it's not just sitting on the dress, rather it's using it as a cushion to push itself off. And I think that's really where it becomes intriguing. And then when you see it from afar too, it's like, oh, nice bow, cute. And then you look a little deeper and you're like, huh, I didn't know that could happen. But this, to me, is kind of fashion forward, trying something new and different that I don't think that we've ever seen. And I feel like in fashion, it's kind of rare that you see things that you haven't seen. Like, we just looked at a beautiful reference, but I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I don't know if anything like that has ever existed. Next up, we have Gracie Abrams, who is wearing Chanel and some Chanel fine jewelry. I think that this little black halter neck style is lovely. I think the stole is cute, and there is a little bit of a black embellished and beaded detail on the bust line. You know, it's not the most exciting thing ever, but it doesn't look bad. And again, I think this is an intriguing mind view into the Chanel by Mathieu Blazy. Because you know what? If it was Virginia, there would have been a stocking. There wouldn't have needed to be, but there would have been. And so I think that's why I'm like, all right, I think we're getting to salvation. I think slowly but surely we're clawing our way out of the depths of despair. Next up, we have Halle Berry, who is wearing Dior as well as Chopard jewelry. I actually think this is lovely. I think that the cap sleeve is gorgeous. The fact that the end of these lace little sleevelets are frayed also I think is quite nice. Does it look a little bit like Wet Dog? Sure, but it is cool. I also think that the dress itself is lovely. I think the neckline works perfectly. The little black bow. You know what? Eventually, I might be a little sentimental for a black belt or bow or something wrapped around the waist of a Dior dress. How long that's going to take for me to become sentimental, TBD. I don't see it for at least the next year, but I think this is nice. She looks pretty. Next up, we have Heidi Klum, who's wearing Yara Shoemaker Couture. I think that this dress is quite luscious. I really do actually enjoy the bodice of it. It's intricate, it's gorgeous, it's that very flashy, hot and sexy moment. I think the feather, train, cape thing is gorge. My only issue maybe is the little beaded drops that are on the actual skirt where it becomes sheer. And it's not that they're ugly, because when I look up close, I'm like, oh, okay, like I get the design. You know what it is? I think I'm so scared of brands' logos now being forced onto product that I'm like, oh, it's their logo. Scary. I don't want to see it. But it's not their logo. So that's a me trauma I have to talk to my therapist about. But otherwise, she looks great. Next up, we have Dame Helen Mirren. She's wearing Badgley Mishka. I feel like this is a fever dream. I love the Fascinator. I think the dress is great on her. The sash, it's lovely. I'm going to be honest. And I know you're going to say, Luke, that's crazy. You just were talking about how much you hate belts and sashes and things. But I think that this color actually works really well. I think it adds a pop. It also plays into this crazy necklace that she is wearing. That thing is huge. I like the sleeves. Does it have a little bit of like Audrey Hepburn, My Fair Lady, Royal Ascot to it? Yeah, absolutely. But I am into it. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I think it's different. It's very English. It's very Dame. You know, like she's doing it. Next up, we have Josh O'Connor, who is wearing Prada. It's this brown double-breasted suit. I actually love it. I like the gray shirt underneath. I like the black tie. I love the flower. That pink really pops super duper well. The loafer, I'm into it. A brown patent leather loafer we should work on. But besides that, I think this is good menswear. It's not too exciting, not too out there, but at the same time, like, it doesn't hurt my eyes, and it doesn't feel like something that I've seen a million times over. Next up, we have Julianne Moore, and this is another really interesting thing. In the same way I'm talking about Mathieu Blazy, this is like the first Louise Trotter for Bottega Veneta that we're really seeing. It's a pretty simple draped black gown, right? But when you look at that strap that's going asymmetrically, it's actually all little strips of leather that has been knotted and then pulled in the back, and a bag of sorts that's been knotted up top. But I think it's cool, and I think it's different, and I think it's an interesting look into what we'll see in September, October, when Louise Trotter debuts her Bottega. I feel like she'll probably keep a similar vibe to like what Mathieu Blasi did, which is just sort of building on the previous creative directors. But Louise loves a sort of, I'm going to say like an oversized silhouette. She likes a little baggy. She enjoys a drapery. And so I think this is cool to see like her really coming through in that dress, but also the Bottega heritage and the craftsmanship and the leather work all happening as well. Next up, we have Leonie Hane, who is wearing Suhair Murad and Ghafari jewelry. I think it's pretty. I actually think the yellow skirt's really luscious and lovely. I do think that the foliage, flora, crystal encrusted bodice is fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings. And I like the loofah stole. You know, she has a storyline. Loofahs and crystals. We're back to Chanel because we're talking about Margaret Qualley, who wore this beautiful Chanel gown, which is actually a reference to the spring 1990 haute couture collection. But again, this is custom remade. It's resplendent on her. You know, I just pulled out an SAT word. That's how good this is. This light pink camellia bow stole off the shoulder, gorgeous luscious little slip-in tulle is breathtaking on her. The hair, she gets it, she understands it, she's nailed it. It's beauty and grace. It's Miss Not United States. Like, it's delivering. And here's an example of what she wore Chanel haute couture last year at Cannes. Remember that? You know what I never noticed when I was looking at that bathing suit ass thing? That she was wearing crystallized flats. And like maybe that's like a Cannes rebellion, like fine, but with the Chanel history of recent years, I think it was just forced upon her. But I mean, people, I think we are entering a new era of Chanel. I'm really excited. Mathieu, if you're watching. Hi, sweetie, you're doing amazing. Mommy's proud. Next up, we have Naomi Campbell, who is wearing Alaya. Beautiful. Really, like, there's not, like, super shit ton of stuff to say about it. I like the asymmetrical neckline, which I feel like normally I never do. I like the half no sleeve, half cap sleeve. I like the fact that it also is, like, opaque at the bust area and then becomes a little bit less opaque as we move down. It's not really anything, like, crazy, but I don't mind seeing a lie on the carpet. Now, Naomi in this Dolce & Gabbana Alta Moda gown is a little more intriguing, also a little bit less, I think, put together. I think the bodice is beautiful. This gold, gilded, gorgeous, fully encrusted, cross-bearing under the bust in the sternum thing is luscious. And if I could take it off of the dress, I would. But unfortunately I can't. So then the issue becomes we see the lace bra, which to me I just think makes it look messy in a state of undress. And then you can also see where the fabric underneath, which normally it's like a satin and I can see it, but I can see now where the seam lines are coming in and the threads are being put together to create the tulle big gown underneath. And I just think if we were gonna expose that aspect of the underpinnings of the gown, why not just like add a little bit extra gold gilded glamour? Why do I have to see the unfinished parts? And then when you pair it with the lace bra, it's like, eh. But then you have this full skirt, which is huge. And so it's like, it's glamour, gorgeous, finished, haute couture, but also I'm going to expose the lace bra and the satin portion of the bodice. I don't get it. Like, that's what was confusing to me. Otherwise, it could be really nice. It just doesn't really look well finished. Or if it was trying to be like a deconstruction thing, it looks weird. Next up, we have Paul Mescal, who is wearing Gucci. It's not anything like crazy, but it's also not, it's not bad, you know what I mean? Like, he's selling me on the idea of navy blue and black together with the loafers. He's also selling me on the idea that I need a pair of Gucci loafers. I do love a horse bit, but I think the suit's nice. I think it works. I think the light blue shirt underneath and the white t-shirt under that, it's all cool. I'm into it. Next up, we have Ryan Destiny, who is wearing Schiaparelli. This is from the most recent ready-to-wear collection. I love this brown strip thing. I think that Law Roach is now styling Ryan Destiny too, which I'm like, yes, smart. And it shows. That, you know, looks good. This beautiful movement of color of the brown as the light hits it at different portions is also quite lovely. I just think it's well done, and I'm saying that because it looked great on the runway and it looks great on her, so I think that's a compliment. Next up, we have Simone Ashley, who's wearing Vivienne Westwood and Masika jewelry. And I'm like happy because Simone Ashley, she's in her fashion girl era. Like, she's always been pretty and like nice and like, but I never really like saw her like hit it. And I feel like she got it earlier this year. And now I'm like, yay, we're here. We're doing it. Hurrah. I'm team her. I always was team her. I just was on the sideline saying, no, stop. I think this beautiful white Westwood with the kerfuffled, wrinkled, draped, almost like surreal bust line thing flowing out like a pair of angel wings or like, I don't know, horns is cool. I think that the rest of the gown is absolutely lovely on her, even like the sides, the panels. Maybe not our favorite, but like a girl's gotta fit in the dress. Like, I understand it completely. And so, yeah, I love this on her. I think it's beautiful. Gorgeous. Next up, we have Taraji P. Henson, who's wearing Gaurav Gupta. I love this too. I feel like this is signature Gaurav. It's this sort of draped, beautiful, lucid, fluid, languid moment. I think that the white works really, really well, and the silver sort of also blends in quite beautifully. I think that the shoe choice is actually also like perfect for it because it has that sort of similar curve and movement ability. I think that she looks great. Even the hair. I didn't even think about the hair, but the hair sort of plays in with the white, sort of curved, straight. Like Taraji, I'm happy. And lastly, we have Zoe Dutch, who's wearing Chanel and Chanel Fine Jewelry too. Not only do I think that that necklace is perfect for this dress, but I think the dress is beautiful. It's a halter. It's a beautiful bodice with stripes. It's a peplum at the hip area of flounces. And this goes back to what I was saying with Elle, is like this silhouette you do see in Chanel. Not really a lot. I guess I will have to retract a little bit. Not really a lot in, at least from what I can find, from late 20s, early 30s. Like, I know that there's elements of it and it is from like early 30s sort of jurisdiction, but I can't find a lot of Chanel versions that Gabrielle Coco Chanel made herself or had made. I don't know where it came from that like Carl and Virginie like had to make these kinds of dresses. Like, I'm sure there are examples of those Chanel pieces. Maybe they're in the archive and like nobody's ever seen them. Chanel, let me come to the archive. Thank you. But I don't know. I feel like I was always seeing them on the runways and I was like, where is this coming from? And like, why are we doing this? And also, why does it always look bad? And I feel like this is, again, the second time recent years that it doesn't look bad. It actually looks quite good. It's a not costumey, hokey pokey. Why would you do that? Your grandmother kept it in the back of the closet for a reason. Kind of moment. She looks beautiful. She looks gorgeous. She looks stunning. I'm into it. So let's talk about best and worst. Best, I'm putting Simone Ashley. I'm putting Elle Fanning in the Chanel. I'm putting Elsa Hosk. I'm putting Colman Domingo, always good. Margaret Qualley in that Chanel was really, really gorgeous. Ryan Destiny, it's Gap. Cate Blanchett, I love. There was a lot of really good ones in this one. As for worst, Naomi in the Dolce was not great. Alexander Skarsgård in the Saint Laurent boots, just like, I got it, it just didn't hit. Barbara Palvin, yeah, I didn't love that. Anybody else really bad? No, I think that's fine. I think that works. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one, and TTY out.